Now, speaking of Zbyszko, let's check out some video footage of him.
Athlete, champion, controversial, and legend are all words you can use to describe Larry Zbyszko and his 29 glorious years in pro wrestling. Larry, a native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, started wrestling in 1974 after training with WWF World Champion Bruno Sammartino. He won the Rookie of the Year award and gained a loyal following of his own in the Northeast. On November 21st, 1978, he won his first major title when he and Tony Garea upset the Yukon Lumberjacks for the WWF World Tag Titles. After losing the tag titles in 1979, Larry went back on his own and followed his dreams of becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. In 1980, Zbyszko shocked the world by challenging his mentor and longtime friend Bruno to a match. No one could foresee the match turning out to be one of the bloodiest in WWF history, as Larry used a chair, injuring Bruno, sending him to the hospital. Their rematch is the only main event ever to sell out New York Shea Stadium. It also won Match of the Year and Feud of the Year. The battles these two had are credited with sending Bruno into retirement. In the winter of 1982, Larry made his move to Georgia and World Championship Wrestling to make a run for the NWA World title. On March 20th, 1983, Zbyszko once again shocked everyone by buying the NWA National Championship from Killer Brooks. NWA President Bob Geigel stripped Larry of the title and ordered a tournament. He ended up defeating another legend, Mr. Wrestling 2, in the finals on June 5th. After holding that title for 3 months and receiving no world title matches, Larry moved on again, this time to the AWA. In the spring of 1985, Zbyszko won a 3-day tournament in Mexico City, featuring wrestlers from North and South America to become the America's champion. Larry dominated the AWA for nearly 3 years. His views on wrestling and life did not sit well with the AWA fans or wrestlers. In the AWA, just like everywhere else he went, controversy followed. He knocked out partner Nick Bockwinkel and longtime rival Greg Gagne with a pair of nunchucks on ESPN. On August 1st, 1987, Larry teamed with Curt Hennig to deliver a spike pile driver to Bockwinkel. The neck injury sent Bockwinkel into retirement and got Zbyszko suspended from the AWA. In the fall of '87, Larry returned to the NWA with new manager and advisor Baby Doll. On January 24th, 1988, Larry, with the help of Baby Doll's high heel, won the Western States title from Barry Windham. He believed that this title would put him in line for a world title shot at Ric Flair. Though Larry headlined many NWA cards with wrestling's top stars like Nikita Koloff, Sting, Dusty Rhodes, and Windham, he never once received a shot at Flair. In the spring of '88, Zbyszko changed management and went off with one of wrestling's most famous managers, Gary Hart. But even then, Flair would not face Zbyszko. This left many experts to believe that Flair feared the living legend. In late '88, Zbyszko returned to the AWA. On February 7, 1989, he achieved his lifelong goal of becoming World Heavyweight Champion by winning the AWA title in St. Paul, Minnesota in an 18-man battle royal, outlasting such superstars as Wahoo McDaniel, Manny Fernandez, and Sergeant Slaughter. Zbyszko would hold the world title for more than a year before losing it to former friend Mr. Saito on February 10, 1990 in Tokyo, Japan. But it would not take long before Larry rebounded and once again captured the world title on April the 8th, 1990 in St. Paul, Minnesota. Zbyszko would hold the AWA world title until the summer of 1990 when WCW bought the AWA and retired the title. In 1991, Larry formed a tag team with original Four Horsemen member Arn Anderson. It did not take long before this duo made headlines around the world by breaking longtime foe Barry Windham's arm in a parking lot attack. On September 5, 1991, Anderson and Zbyszko, now known as the Enforcers, won the WCW World Tag Titles by defeating Rick Steiner and Bill Kazmaier. The Enforcers were voted Tag Team of the Year. In early 1992, the Enforcers signed with Paul E. Dangerously's Dangerous Alliance. He severed his ties with the Alliance after a War Games match with Sting Squadron. For the first time in 12 years, Zbyszko was a beloved fan favorite. He soon would retire from the ring and begin working as a broadcaster for World Championship Wrestling. In 1994, Larry would come out of retirement to battle Lord Steven Regal, who had been mocking the Living Legend in his TV matches and interviews. Zbyszko won the WCW World TV title from Regal on May 2, 1994 in Atlanta, Georgia. He would hold the belt for nearly 2 months before losing it back to Regal in Charleston, South Carolina. In the mid-90s, Larry's popularity grew even bigger as the host of WCW Main Event, WCW Worldwide, and cable's highest-rated program, WCW Monday Nitro. In 1997, Zbyszko would once again come out of retirement to battle wrestling's most evil group, Hulk Hogan's NWO. In 2001, the WWE bought WCW from Ted Turner, and Larry left the national spotlight. But Larry has never been one to sit still very long, and after a short rest, Zbyszko returned to the ring, wrestling for promotions all over the United States. Zbyszko will make his first ever appearance in Kingsport, Tennessee, Sunday, July 20th, as part of Southern States Wrestling's Fun Fest Slam at the Civic Auditorium. Larry has signed to face the man who bills himself as the Legend Killer, SSW champion Jesse Taylor. Tickets are on sale now at the FunFest office in the Fort Henry Mall in Kingsport for only $6.
Unexpected